Hi, I'm Austin, or Easy Mac. I'm the analyst for the Atlanta FaZe Call of Duty team. My job is basically gathering all the data from scrims and live matches and putting it into easy to read like charts and databases for the coaches to use. I basically watch everything that we do and try to like scout. And what I do is I just give Crowder and RJ like talking like information for their talking points. So when they talk to the team, they have a little bit more like behind it to back it up. And like I try to help with vetoes and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically my roles within the team. With everyone, all the top teams here this weekend, it's definitely going to be like the tournament to win if you want to be crowned like top of the power rankings, I guess. It's weird because like most of the tournaments in the past that were the best tournaments actually had a bunch of like lower teams. So now having all the top teams, I really want to see like I like every matchup I want to watch. There's not many matchups that I don't want to watch this weekend, which is really good like viewer wise and everything. And I think whoever comes out on top, I mean, they're gonna be pretty undisputed. There's gonna be no like reason as why they're not number one, and then it's gonna make the Paris event next weekend even better too. So winning this tournament is really important in regards to CDL points, because right now we're sitting second, and it's pretty much a 3-horse race for the top 2 points. But that could even change at any moment too if Minnesota comes out and wins this event. But winning this event gives us a nice little like cushion. It gives us a little bit more space to breathe. I think the next 2 events are really what's most important. Ideally you want to come out of these 2 tournaments with 100 points. It's pretty crucial to come out with at least 80, I would say. We definitely need to win and then be in the grand finals for both tournaments to be confident going into the rest of the season, because having that first and second seed in the playoffs is huge. It's an automatic top 6. You get to survive the early rounds, which is historically in past champs and past playoffs, a lot of teams that are projected to be the overwhelmingly favorites fall early. Like 100 Thieves last year fell in the first round of COD champs. Gen G came in last. At playoffs, like a lot of the top teams were struggling in the opening round. So being able to dodge that is crucial in the early rounds at least. So first and second seed play third round. So that's just super important that we come out of the next 2 weekends with at least 80 points.
Technically, the winner of this tournament gets bragging rights, because I'm pretty sure each team right now, if you're considering the big 3 that have 2 wins each, so we all have 2 wins. So whoever wins this technically wins 3 first. We are all here, so there's no excuses of you won tournaments where these people weren't there. But at the end of the day, to be honest with you, bragging rights comes when you win champs. So that's like what a lot of people are obviously focusing on. And you want to be the best team you can be right now, of course, and you want to have that seeding for champs. And this is all still super, super important. But at the end of the day, like, you really want to make sure like you're playing your best Call of Duty towards the end of the year when that big one comes up. All the CDL points are still super important. You obviously want to win as many tournaments as you can, and even if you're not going to win them, you want to get second or third or fourth and make sure you're keeping those CDL points high, because that obviously leads to you having a way better seed in that first 2-round bye, I'm pretty sure, in the Call of Duty Championship tournament. So that's really what you're aiming for, and that's why all of these are such a cool format to have, where it keeps all the regular season matches or tournaments like still super important. So you honestly just want to win as much as you can, and if you're not going to win, you still don't want to get like a last place or something. You want to make sure you're staying in at least semis or finals, where you might not get all the points, but you can still stay ahead of some of the teams that are catching up to you. Or even if a team behind you wins, if you get second place, they don't get that much of an advantage on you. So it's all super important. It's all super important at the end of the day.
Like going into these tournaments, Crowder really doesn't put much emphasis on the points. It's more of just finding our form and being the best team we can be. Like a lot of we don't talk about standings or power rankings or any of that going into the weeks. It's just every day. It's just how are we scrimming? What can we fix? What can we improve? Is our focus 100%? Are we going as hard as we can? So going into every tournament, it's just play your own game. Worry about what you can worry about. Just worry about the next match. Just keep focusing, keep trying to get better for the rest of the season, because all in all, these tournaments, even though they're important, the only one that really matters is the final one. So that's pretty much, focus game by game, and it will lead to good things. That's pretty much our mindset in our camp.
The next series, hopefully, should be an entertaining one. Atlanta FaZe versus Seattle Surge. I say that knowing full well that this is probably going to be a 3-0 in favor of Atlanta FaZe.
Seattle have built themselves not a comfortable lead, but 40 points ain't nothing to shake your head at, and they have the rotation to nuke Ben. This game right now is Seattle's to lose.
And Chance, I can't believe it. Seattle Surge take game 1 against Atlanta FaZe. Until they potentially go 2-0 up, but it's Priester once again. He's flanked a few rounds in a row. Is he going to try and make the same play? The problem is number 5, Panda's actually watching this exact flank. There's 2 players drop. There's the flank being watched by Panda. He wins it. Seattle Surge 2-0 up against Atlanta FaZe. I never in a million years expected to be saying that out loud today. There was absolutely nothing they could do. This game has been over for realistically quite some time. The kill feed once again all red. The game will end with Atlanta FaZe in full control of pretty much everything. And it felt like they have the entire game anyway. One of the biggest score lines you're going to see this season, 199 to 123. Atlanta FaZe get their first map on board here in this series. Here, Octane may have to try and find himself 1 or 2 big kills, but the nade is just enough. 5 more seconds. All Atlanta FaZe are going to need, and they will force a game 5. Seattle Surge, they can't even get close to the hill. Atlanta FaZe, the comeback there was massive in game 4. Chance they send us to a game 5 search and destroy flag. There's the first blood from Octane. A much better start to this round, and he actually has 1 more player pinned. Unfortunately, though, the flag goes through from Priester. It could be massive for him. He finds himself 3 in the kill feed. 1v2 for Celium. He's clutched so many of these in his career. Can he find another one? With 12 seconds, bomb is being planted. If he can find the pick just in the nick of time, maybe he wins the round and he gets it. 7 seconds, can he travel away? Celium, just barely, by the skin of his teeth, escapes. Is the bomb going to be planted? 1 second! No! Atlanta FaZe! Atlanta FaZe in a millisecond! Win the round 11!
Obviously, Seattle's been struggling. They made a roster change. They got a little bit of new life with Proto in there. And I don't think it was really the roster change. I just think like people tend to forget how competitive this league is. And Seattle, if you look at them, like obviously they've been struggling throughout the years, and I've been throughout this year, and they're not playing extremely well. But like they also have played many close series with like other teams. They're just a good team, and people kind of forget how good every single team is in this league, where if you do show up, and honestly, like Priesta didn't play very well that first map. We weren't playing that good on that Gunrunner hardpoint. Like there's going to be teams that can beat you. So like we came out a little bit flat and they came out hot, and like they're a great team and they took it to the distance.
I mean, all the series are pretty hard since like it was like 0-2 every like series pretty much. But I think the toughest one was just our first match, because it was like for every tournament, the first match is always the hardest. That's like how it goes. But probably the first series. I popped Deddy, and then I was like in the corner. I was kind of scared because like I was trying to like hear the footsteps. I put my mix amp up like high, like the mix amp to hear footsteps, and I didn't hear anything because like they popped dead silence. So I just like checked the bomb at like 8 or 7, whatever it was, and then killed him off bomb and just ran away. And then my teammate said like that he couldn't plant, so I trust my teammates and it worked out. So
if you can watch the first hard point back, like we weren't winning gunfights. We came out flat. We weren't playing good Call of Duty, period. Like individually, we weren't getting like some of the kills that we normally get. And once again, when you play a team that has players like Octane and Slacked and Apathy and all these guys on it, you're going to lose. So that's number one, is just coming out with a little bit more fire, and especially against Dallas. And on top of that, just not making the mistakes we made yesterday. We made a lot of fundamental mistakes that the way we like to play hardpoint doesn't usually happen, and we made those mistakes. Seattle capitalized on it. So that's what they're going to be really worried about, is making sure we're playing what we know we have to do. And if we do that, we'll be good. And playing Dallas is obviously always really fun. They're a really, really good team. And last time we played them, they beat us in the finals. We played them before and we beat them. So it's kind of just a back and forth battle. But when you play a team that is at the caliber of like Dallas, like you obviously really want to try and make a statement and win it. So the team's super hyped up, they're ready to play. But overall, it's still a pool play match, and you don't want to go too crazy for just one match. But at the same time, like you show up to every match wanting to win. So hopefully we come out here and do our thing.
Oh, as we get into this one, Miles, I tell you what, I mean, obviously we've heard the passion from you, and we kind of made our predictions, obviously, on the trip cap as well. Is there any way you're leaning towards this? Because I'll say it first. I was certainly going into this whole tournament, I was thinking FaZe were going to take it, but after seeing yesterday and what Dallas did and FaZe did, I'm kind of leaning towards Dallas a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is FaZe have had a slow start to the tournament nonetheless, but you know, and Empire did not. They did not have a slow start. They were looking fine yesterday. So if they can keep that one going today, we'll see how we go. But this is going to be a bout. There's no doubt about the FaZe versus Empire who just joined us. It's going to be a bloodbath.
We see FaZe up and around the hard point, but it's a little bit too late with a 5-killing spree coming from Shotzzy. Beatdowns, fists, M4s, MP5s, 30 kills for Shotzzy. He's putting himself in a strong position here. You see the plays from FaZe coming in from Catwalk and, of course, down low as well. They're both going to be sneaking around, but waiting on the stairs. This Shotzzy's actually baited out that second player as well, and look at him go. Straight down, back in. Abizi deals with him. It's now Clayster versus Abizi. They used to sit alongside each other. Not today with 16 seconds left. He's going to be jumping straight on that bomb. Clayster, where are you? Clayster, where are you?
Clayster! And that's it! It was close, but no cigar for Atlanta FaZe. Dallas 6-3. They will get the map.
Me being the entry and S&D is it's kind of tough sometimes. I mean, because like a lot of teams literally like study our gameplay and just focus on what I do, since I'm always the one making the entry plays and stuff. So they're like super focused on me, so I have to switch up a lot of my stuff like all on the like fly sometimes, because a lot of people just know what I do. But I mean, I enjoy it because that's just how I've always been in S&D. Usually I'm either getting first blooded or I'm getting a first blood, so yeah.
But Dallas Empire, they will fall here in map number 3. We have a series on our hands. We're going into the hard point, of course. Dallas still will be leading. You just missed it. They had a convincing map 1 and map 2. The second side of domination, my goodness, FaZe Clan. They absolutely ruined this one. Woo. Quick reset, quick regain. We'll be back at it, but 50 points. Just over 50 points here. The contest going back and forth. Abizi, Zelly, and Major Maniac all added to this. Don't forget, FaZe need to win this to push this to a game number 5. All of Dallas are out of there with only 3 seconds left to get in. They ain't close enough. FaZe Clan push it to a game 5. And I tell you what, whoever makes those memes, you better start right now.
Can Simp find one more? Yes, he can. Shotzzy in a 1 versus 3.
Oh, there's no downtime in between map 2 and 3 this time around. FaZe just come out straight swinging in Dom, straight swinging in map 4 and 5, and what a way to close it out. Dallas were very convincing in map 1 and 2 though, Miles.
I think one of the not just our rotating early. I know a lot of people have been speaking on that as why we're losing these respawns, but I think also our holds on the initial setups in hills, and also our finesse when we're getting kills. Like, we're taking a lot of unnecessary challenges, and like when we get like a kill or two, we'll throw our life away. But if we get that 1 or 2 kills, finesse our life, ask our teammate for help, I think that'll really help us in the long run in leading up in like into these series this weekend. So
we're having right now a look at our CDL Sunday schedule, of course, presented by the US Army. And coming up first, we do have the Gorillas taking on FaZe. It's our first semi-final of the day. I mean, big stuff coming across here. And I think talking about FaZe, though, on the other side of this right now, FaZe, yes, 2 reverse sweeps, did go down 2-0 twice. Did see them come back. The resilience is there from them. However, are we going to be seeing a game forming here from these guys? Are we going to be seeing something close, or is this going to be a 3-0 stomp?
Our first series of the day about to get underway here on CDL Sunday, and this one again could be an interesting one. I'm praying it is. For me, if LA Guerrillas start off strong to take the hard point, then we are in for an absolutely fantastic semi-final. But again, all eyes for me, realistically, will be on that Search and Destroy, that game 2. I think that's where LA Guerrillas, you stressed it in the game, feel keys to victory, but they almost must win to make this semi-final interesting. With 2 seconds until the rotation, LA's ready and waiting, but Simp could potentially be disastrous here for LA Guerrillas. Times it perfectly, slides it, but no, the gunfight's won from LA, and I cannot believe it. I didn't want to believe that was even possible. A 5 versus 3. Remaining LA players essentially pin. The flank comes through. Such a well-executed retake by Atlanta FaZe. But what a game of Search and Destroy.
What a game of Search and Destroy indeed. I think really, the entire thing, I think it comes down to that round where you had Gorillas win the 3v2. That turned into a 2v2 where they played everything perfectly, and then Celian was just like, no, I'm good. I'm not losing this game. 33-19, just a phenomenal performance from him. So tip the cap in that direction. At the same time, again, you pointed out the opening break in the second half. It was all the pressure that the Gorillas, and not even doing this quickly. Like, they took their time. They knew what the game plan was. Threw maybe 3-4 players hanging around the mid-map, that area, and then as soon as they had the clearance, as soon as FaZe responded to that pressure, then everyone flipped, went to attack that B flag, and then, well, they turned that into the spawn flip later on.
Atlanta fighting back in the series. Down, of course, 2-1. This to force a game 5. The neutrals wanted it. As we said, two of the best search and destroy teams in the league. Atlanta take game 4, 250 to 156. LA Gorillas. Aqua will fall. Blast and Vivid up in a 2v5. Make that Vivid a 1v5. He's been incredible in search all weekend. This would surely be the icing on the cake. It will not for LA Gorillas. Atlanta FaZe. Another game 5 in the books. Another win. More importantly for them, another grand.
I mean, I definitely feel like I played good this weekend. But me as like the main AR role, I am the slowest player on the team. So if I'm dropping a negative KD, there's definitely an issue. But I mean, it also comes down to like just our teamwork. Like if our teamwork is just a little bit better, we're playing hills in these setups a lot better. I think the KD ratio among the entire team will just reflect on that. Like we'll just be, everybody will be having positive KDs, and there'll be really nobody outshining anyone else if our teamwork is just on point. We're setting up early on rotation, and we're actually holding these hills. But we're rotating late, we're breaking, and then our hills are getting insta broken, which is a problem. So
our hard point was just very bad because we were making a lot of little mistakes on the map that we weren't doing in scrims, which is kind of crazy because we were doing really well in scrims, and then come event time we literally were just playing horrible. Like we were literally doing things on the map that we know that we shouldn't do, but we were doing it anyway, and we just gotta fix those little mistakes again and make sure we don't do it in the tournament.
I think it's gonna be a good matchup. I think a lot of people underestimate them. We've scrimmed them several times. We've played them on S&D as well, and I think they're actually a really good team. They complement each other pretty well. I think they've made a few roster changes just recently, so I don't know how that's gonna reflect on them as a team, but I mean, I think it's gonna be a good match either way. So.
It is time for CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel. It is your home series final for the Minnesota event. Atlanta FaZe going up against the Florida Mutineers. And guys, this is interesting because yes, they have matched up previously, but Joe, I don't even know if we could use those previous matchups, whether it's been so long or the teams have changed. There's not a whole lot to go off for this. Coming in and knowing all the top teams were here, I guess for a lot of us, there was an assumption that probably FaZe, Empire, Huntsman would win it, and then we'd finally sort of have a clear-cut #1 team where it's been a little bit of money, we've been going back and forth. Now imagine if the Mutineers come in and win this, because now instead of kind of having that clear team, now we have 4 teams with 2 wins. It gets even muddier at the top. Joe, I don't know what we're gonna think after this. Somehow Mutineers pull this off. You can see at the bottom of your screen, FaZe 6-3, Mutineers 4-2. They have both been solid here. Who can be better and take this game 1? Because Nameless said the hard points are huge. You said map 1 is huge. A lot of pressure on this one to get going. Awakening continuing to go big. What a first map it is in his home series final debut. 29-22. And there's the final seconds. Mutineers get the convincing game 1 win.
Florida's still in it, but Abizi goes on the flank. He has dead silence. 12-4 from Abizi. He's able to stay alive, dodging so many bullets, and Celium has his back. Now it's all down to Skies, and yeah, he's gonna shoot the TV antenna because this one is over. He's towards that C flag. Is Havoc just having some fun now with the knife. But usually your main AR has like your lowest engagements on this map because the way you have to play it on the train tracks. But 27-11 is just a ridiculous stat line from Skies.
If you said it perfectly, they are all in now and they can do it. They've gotten the kills. Sip is going to be the last person here. He's got to try and disrupt. They just need a couple more ticks. Can FaZe contest? They've gotten in for now, but there's the clearance from the Mutineers, and there's the win. They hold off the late surge from FaZe, and they will get their second home series win. What a map it was. Woo!
Hardest matchup. I mean, I would say Dallas, but we won the series. I mean, in terms of just being the hardest, I mean, the loss that we took was Florida, so I guess I would say that would be our hardest matchup, even though I didn't think it was going to be. They just really came out hot in that first hard point.
My hardest match was probably honestly finals because I just couldn't really get anything going. That series or the Dallas series, because the Dallas series I also had a tough time. But I don't know. I'm personally like working on my individual play right now, like really hard for this next event. So hopefully I can come out and play a lot better.
Focus on rotating early, but also having a good setup on rotation and also finessing our lives more. And this respawn is super important. Like, as our S&Ds were bailing us out all weekend. So I think if we still stay strong in that aspect and just win these respawns, like, we're just going to be dominant just like we were before. So it really just comes down to us just winning these respawns, really.
We're focusing really hard on our hardpoint going into this next event just because of how bad we were struggling with it during that event. But that and some plays in our dom, but other than that, like, that's the main things we're focusing on.
I just think that we need to like just grind the game more than usual to get our shots back on point, because like this weekend obviously we weren't like doing like as much that we like should be, but I think just playing the game more and grinding more and would be like better for sure.
The first match of the Paris home series is against Toronto, and I mean, I think we match up pretty well against them. I don't think we've played them yet in the tournament, but I'm excited to finally be able to play them. I mean, they actually have some young talent on their team as well, but I'm looking forward to it.
Mountain Dew Game Fuel.
We gotta go.
Designed to give you an edge. Get game ready. Accuracy, alertness, victory in a can.
Losing to Mutineers 3-1 last event kind of just showed us that, you know, we are beatable, and, you know, we do really need to tighten up on our hard points. I feel like that's kind of always been just our downfall this year, is we usually need to win a hard point, you know. Whenever we don't win hard points, we always lose a series. And, you know, last event, it kind of made us realize we need to wake up and get back to how we were on hard point.
Going to this tournament, I mean, there is definitely more to prove. I mean, we didn't win and we lost to Florida, but Florida was on one that tournament. They beat like all the top teams in the tournament. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot to prove for me individually, and I guess that's as a team, to be honest. We've been kind of in a slump, so I've been personally in a big slump myself, so I'm trying to get out of that. I want to prove to people that I can actually shoot straight again, so yeah, there's definitely something to prove there.
Going against Toronto today in our first match, I think we're all just going to do what we talked about for hardpoint. Just make sure, you know, if we win that first map, it'll make things a lot less stressful on us, and I think we'll be able to take the search and destroy and just have a smooth series if we're able to win the hardpoint.
I wonder if we'll see a repeat of the FaZe performances in the last home series, 2 reverse sweeps they needed to pull out in order to keep themselves alive in the tournament. Now, let's get into this one.
Toronto push and pressure it from every single angle, but as the kill feed comes through White, it's only Vance, it's Cammy down at the water. The grenades are going to connect and no one able to close it out. Just 1 point, Miles.
Here we go. Priest is going to get it done. No, there we have it. FaZe finally get the win, 172 to 250.
A 1v3 to stay in the game. He's done some incredible stuff so far. He's going to be spotted. He's tagged. He's weak. I think he senses a wild Cammy on the backside of the trench.
And so he should. It's not enough. Toronto Ultra get it done. 6-4.
With only 10 seconds on the clock, it ain't gonna happen. Their 4-1 run on this map mode now turns to 5-1. Percentages out the window. Toronto turning up here on day 1. Wow. FaZe. We jumped on where the spawn trap could come through. FaZe so close.
Those 2 kills from Abizi could have been it. That's going to be the final nails. No one to contest. No one even close. We're going to a game 5. This is going to be huge now from the 2 defending members of FaZe. Major Mania Cup high.
I honestly thought, I was like, why are FaZe just not going to A? And they've actually just done exactly what Medals has thought. You saw him turn around. You thought they'd gone right through to A, but no, they stuck the bomb. 38 seconds, Miles.
Priester saw him. Priester made the call. He's just slipped across, and this is it. Metals now for the fight. He can't get it done. Atlanta FaZe once again in the round 11s.
So going into that tournament, or into the Paris tournament, we were mainly focused on hardpoint. So we won both the hardpoints in that, but maybe we like put a little bit too much focus on hardpoint. But that was our main goal, was to get better at hardpoint going into that, because tournament before that we weren't really winning any hardpoints. But I mean, they're a good team at domination and S&D. Honestly, our S&D was kind of lacking a little bit. So that's probably the main thing we need to focus on, is keeping our S&D above everyone else, because we were really good at it, and then we kind of fell under because everyone caught up. But yeah, now that our hard point's back up to where it should be, then now we gotta focus on the other things.
I honestly think Toronto's like a really good team. I think they're underrated. I just think that they have like a good core team, like they're good 5. It's obviously getting to like the later stages of the game, so like everyone's gonna know how to play. So like for our team, all of us have to capitalize on like other teams' mistakes when they have mistakes. So we just have to capitalize on it.
I think the best team in our group besides us is probably New York. I think them and their respawns they're really good at respawn. So I think if we can take a couple of them and just show that we can win hard points, we'll be able to win on our group.
We have Atlanta taking on New York Subliners. An interesting one. A revenge match maybe for New York Subliners here. What do they have to do maybe to seal this deal against a not so incredible looking Atlanta?
Well,
Maven?
What's interesting is like when the last 2 times these guys played, right? If you take out the launch weekend matchup, they go 5 games, right? And this is when FaZe, I mean, one of those events they won a tournament. This is when they were playing really well. And New York still, for whatever reason, with that matchup, with Mac and the roster, was pushing them the distance. So you would think by that logic, with FaZe seemingly playing a little bit worse than normal, that there's a big chance for an upset here. But yeah, something in the recipe for New York, whether it's the power of their subs to match the subs against Atlanta, they push them the distance time and time again. So I think we have a good matchup on our hands. I think you asked like what might be pushing it over the hump. I think Mac was kind of average compared to where he has been the rest of these tournaments. Like he's been frying most teams and didn't really do that against Atlanta. So maybe if he can play at his best, that's what puts him over the hump. Out of 5, and that might do it because Sip has been able to push out towards minecarts. They've got to get through him before they get to the point, and there just isn't an opening right now. Mac, the only one with a chance to get in for a second, but the kill is there. Major Maniac still posted up, and it's a 250 to 162 win for FaZe. 8 for now, at least wide open. Celium surely gonna hear him. And there are the shots. There is the win. A dominant search victory again for FaZe.
Whew, man, just yeah, FaZe, they were getting that AB setup. They had so much map control, and when I was talking about New York, they had to decide where they go. They go towards A. They go through the middle of the map, and they found, what, 4 or 5 kills in a row. They were finally able to deal with a BZ. Another big spree out of Attach. A great game on Azuma, controlling middle of the map. In New York, they extend the series. A BZ's trying to do what he can, but he gets taken down, and with a BZ down, you see it. From the free cam, New York gonna get set up.
They're set up, and they should have it done here. FaZe can't get in time. They have to worry too much about the scrap time on Restaurant, and Subliners, they do it. They beat them here again on Petrograd, and if FaZe can close it out here, it's all to Zuma. 1 versus 4. Oh, no! No, no, no! Just the assassination from Sip to close it out with a 6-4 win, and it doesn't get more brutal than that.
So for respawns for us, we were playing really good, and then we fell into a certain way of how we were playing domination, which isn't the right way to play dom in this game. So, or just like respawn in general, even domination hardpoint, we're just playing it wrong, but against like lesser teams, we were still winning it. So like when we go against like New York or Dallas or Chicago, any of the top teams in respawn, it's gonna be close games or we're gonna lose. So New York's a very good respawn team, so they were just taking respawns off of us, and I mean they haven't really been a good S&D team this year, so we obviously won both the S&Ds, but yeah, I think just had to revamp the way we played respawn a little bit, and I mean they play hardpoint very well. So
an aspect that New York does well is like their pacing is really good. Like they have like 5 players that play well off each other. Like Max, like the fastest one, Tommy's right behind them. Like they're both like the same kind of, but like they're really fast. So the reason we're so consistent in S&D right now is because all of us like before we went pro, all of us played S&D with each other. So like all of us know how to play S&D from like S&D tournaments online and stuff. So all of us have like a pretty good understanding of how to play S&D right now.
I think a lot of teams have really just caught up, and that just comes with playing the game and watching all these other teams play. And it's just that time of the year. I mean, is the longevity of the game, the more tournaments that are played, everybody learns, you know, the small things, you know. So I think the tournament with that, and on top of all the talent in the league, that's why like the competition is just very tight knit right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Sunday. One semifinal in the books. It's time for the next one. We've got Atlanta FaZe going toe-to-toe against Dallas Empire. Benson joined by Chance and Nameless to break things down before this game gets underway. We've seen these two teams play against each other quite a lot this season, Nameless, and I'm expecting maybe a similar result here as well today. Azir, Cave, Hardpoint. Can Dallas start off strong? The fear, of course, if they do, is Atlanta FaZe and their reverse sweeps. Their Game 5 record truly incredible. And now the rotation is in. Atlanta FaZe are first to the party. Shotzi's going to do his best to contest, but I don't think it's going to matter. 4 players go down, and that should be GG when Atlanta FaZe get inside the hill. There it is. Game comes to a conclusion. We've known for quite some time. 250-145. Atlanta FaZe go 1-0 up. Well, 2v2. They still have to deal with Clay, who was top score. The push comes through. Clay stays alive. That's a 5 spree for him. Celium, 1v2. We've seen him do it so long, but with 2 seconds on the clock, no chance at all. Dallas take game 2, 6-4. Clay was so important that round for Dallas, from the first blood to staying alive during the push.
23-5 on a 9 spree, just by the way. You talk about shades of all, just feet up, big chillin', hanging out on this map was old MM.
Again, a great pick from Nameless as the player to really watch this series. He has a ton of success against Dallas Empire, and that is a prime example of said success. A very
oldest player in the league.
Easy game number 3, and wonderful performance out of Major Maniac. Towards the end, that's a beautiful kill feed though for Dallas. 5 players go down. They take their time. They stay composed. The kill feed still blue. Just when it looked like Atlanta was going to close it out here, Dallas say no, no, no. And that is a fantastic way of closing out game number 4. Ladies and gents, we are going the distance again. Game 5, search and destroy on the horizon. The smokes are out. Abizi's gonna get caught mid-map. No, he's not. And Crim falls as well. Clay left in a 1v4. You blink and you miss it. There's surely no way Clay can clutch this up. FaZe know exactly where he is. They have him pinned, and it's only a matter of time before they fly forward. He doesn't win the first fight. Atlanta FaZe take another game 5. 6-4 the victory. They're going to another final.
What is that? 7 out of their last 8 series have been a game 5. They are now 9-1 in the game 5s. Their S&D record is absurd. Celium dropped 14, and frankly, he had 12 kills after 7 or 8 rounds, so he slowed down, and that just gave room for Abizi and Priesta, the duo, I guess, to pick things up. But this is why FaZe from the start of the year is just such a threat. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, beating him in respawn, incredibly difficult. You somehow managed to get to a game 5. Good luck, have fun. But hey, I guess now at this point, if there's any team to prevent the game 5 from even occurring, maybe Florida has that magic, just to not even have to see it.
When we played Dallas and we went to opening hardpoint, like, it just boosts your confidence to just keep frying them, especially because they're a top team. Like, they've been playing well all year. I mean, that's just how it is for every series. Like, if we start off 1-0, like, you get that, you just get that confidence boost, and you just want to run around and keep frying. And the tournament before Paris, we started down 0-2. Like, how many reverse sweeps we have that tournament was ridiculous. So just starting off 1-0, that was the start of just, like, not going down 0-2 and having to reverse sweep, and it just makes it a lot less stressful. We knew Gunrunner S&D was probably Dallas's one of their strongest maps. But we watched VODs and we know how they played, so we're kind of doing things to counter them. We had some plays that we've never thrown in the books that we were like personally me, I was playing the same spot over and over using S&D, or I was flanking, and I think everyone knew that. So I had to switch things up. I think Tyler switched things up. So we made a few changes to our gameplay, and we knew exactly how they played, unless they were going to throw something crazy at us, which really they didn't. So, I mean, we're pretty confident going into the map, even though that was one of their best maps.
Our standout player for Florida right now is Guys. He's like a main AR. He just like plays really well, like at playing his life and stuff. He just he's really good at that role. So
I think Florida is just loose right now. Like they you know, they're just playing how they want to play, and they're having fun with it, and they're not trying to play perfect Call of Duty. And if you try to play perfect Call of Duty, people are gonna punish you. Like, say you sent 5 on rotation, rather than taking certain routes that you should be taking, like teams are gonna mess you up. And I think they're just playing loose right now. They're kind of running around and they're just slaying and they're having fun. And there's obviously times where they take routes they need to take, but for the most part, I think they're just having fun with the game and just they're not like trying to play too perfect. They're just running around and just frying. So I think that's what they're doing best right now, especially in respawns.
Well, hello there, folks, and welcome back to the Call of Duty League. It is CDL Sunday, baby, and guess what? We're into our finals right now. We've got Florida Mutineers taking on Atlanta FaZe, two top dogs.
This is going to be an absolute bloodbath. They're running it back. Atlanta FaZe, Florida Mutineers, another home series finals. Florida again looking to go back to back. We're going to start this one off on a big old gun runner. We have seen the vetoes, we have seen the maps. We're very keen to get in this series. Off the rip, Priestess Cell finding the kills there for Atlanta FaZe.
Down contest will fall through, and the Mutineers are broken in, but only to find Celium contest for a little bit longer. I think we're going to get another contest from number 5. It's going to be a BZ. He has to go. He's got to put it on right now, and 248 is the number, but he's going to fall. The kill feed all white. Mutineers so strong in map number 1, and the momentum from the reverse sweep over the subline has certainly been taken into the finals. FaZe fall short by 60 points.
And with that, Priester in a 1 versus 3. Going for the immediate defuse, but wait, he's going up top. He could maybe find something. Here is the coverage. Wait, it's not over yet. The shot sees down.
No!
The defuse comes through. Priester can't get it done. FaZe have been absolutely beheaded in this series. And the Florida Mutineers, my God, man, they have taken over the Call of Duty League.
Let's just watch a boat for a second. Let's all just take a big, deep breath and look at the absolute stomping that was the finals of the Paris home series. The previous record was 105. This absolutely smashed it. Wow, the Mutineers are forced to be reckoned with, and credit to them. They were unstoppable.
That was the most disgusting performance I have seen in a grand final. FaZe have no idea. They have no idea what has just happened to them.
Make sure we win this next tournament. I think just stay on top of our hard points. I think that's been the main issue the past 3 tournaments. Like the last tournament we played hard point well, but we got to make sure we're staying on top of it and being able to beat the top teams so we can start off 1-0. And then same with Dom and S&D. S&D is a little bit different just because S&D can't really practice it as much as you do respawn. But as long as we're watching other teams' VODs and just knowing what to do, then playing off that and just making sure we're switching things up and not just keeping it consistent, throwing people off guard, and domination. Just make sure we just don't get absolutely obliterated again because that was embarrassing, and just make sure we're just staying on top of our game, really. I think for me, I have a little bit of different role. I'm not like a main slayer. I say like Celium, Simp, and Abizi are like our slayers. Like we want them to run around and fry. But the main thing for me is just like if I go 24 and 16 or whatever it is, just going positive and just making sure I'm getting kills, like just useful kills on the map. That's the main thing I want. Like I'm not trying to drop a 1.4 as long as I'm not going negative and I'm not getting shit on. Like I think that's the main thing. And honestly, I was proud of how I played last tournament. Other than finals, like domination, we got smoked, and I think I went negative in the hard play. It was just like they're playing really good, Florida. So I think for me, just hold my own and just make sure that I'm setting up the 3 musketeers or the tiny terrors to just run around and fry. I think that's the main thing, and just making sure that we're just staying on top of each other and making sure we're going to the right spots. I think that's it for me. Just I don't know, just playing good. To be honest, all these tournaments are super important for seeding going into champs. I think us, Chicago, Florida, and Dallas are all super, super close now. So it's like winning this next one would separate us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I think this next tournament's gonna be huge, and we're just gonna go all out.
So to be very transparent, which is always like in these interviews and these videos and everything, you can't. So people had the criticism in the beginning of the event where we weren't rotating at all a lot of these hard points, and that's a fair criticism. And the system of hard point that we played, we've been very, very good at breaking. If you kind of break down some of the stats, we're a good team at breaking hard points, and that usually goes in your favor the way you play it. Obviously, we were still not rotating properly, which was an issue, so we weren't doing the best of both worlds. And then in the finals, you kind of saw us actually rotate perfectly and play the map very, very well where we were holding these setups, and we still didn't win. So for the criticism to say like, oh, we just don't rotate and that's the reason why we lose, like this, that, like you're never gonna win like that, we've won a lot of hard points doing that, but at the same time, we weren't doing it to the best of our ability. Like we weren't following the system we've kind of set. And then when we did rotate, we weren't winning a lot of gunfights. And honestly, when you're playing teams, once again in this pro league, it's a very competitive pro league, you got to play to the best of your ability. And honestly, we just didn't have the strongest of weekends. It's going to happen. You can't come out every single tournament and come guns blazing and just win every single tournament, because no team has ever done that before. It sucks, but we still ended up with second place, and we still know what we need to work on. And I know we don't have a lot of time to prepare, but that's what we're going to do, is just work on, obviously, individual games, kind of like uplifting a little bit. And then on top of that, working on some of those rotations, because at the end of the day, you do need to rotate to win, but you just have to find that right balance of the system of like what we've been doing when we were dominant in hardpoint to kind of get back to that. But just overall, I mean, champs isn't far away, right? I mean, yeah, we have like, if you look at it two ways, like, yeah, we have a bunch more events to practice for before champs. Like technically you do, you still have a few in the books, but like champs is just like a month or like a month, a little bit over a month away. It's not too far. So you really want to make sure like these next tournaments are kind of when you're starting to peak and starting to when you're really like working hard on your individual gameplay, making sure you're following the system, you're trusting your teammates, you're all on the same page. So having another good performance for the standings is huge. But just overall, just getting better at hardpoint and making like more runs into these tournaments will always help our confidence going into the future. Of course, right now with those couple of breaks, like not having a lot of breaks and we're a little bit struggling, it's going to be hard to make that 180 flip around in hardpoint, but we're going to do our absolute best. And the one thing I think I promised in the earlier seasons, like our team will never be underprepared in the sense of practice of like not knowing how to play a hardpoint map or something like that. Like we're going to always put in the VOD work. We're going to always put in the scrims work, and we're always going to do that. And that's what we're going to continue to do in practice. And now it's time to kind of kick it up a notch with individual gameplay as well.